The greatest danger of artificial intelligence may not be that machines become too powerful. It may be that society remains designed for a world that no longer exists. Our schools prepare people for yesterday's jobs. Our laws regulate yesterday's industries. Our tax systems measure yesterday's economy. Meanwhile, technology has already moved on. I am Shocky. And to understand what artificial intelligence may do to our economy, we need to look much further back than ChatGPT, because this is not the first time a powerful technology has moved faster than society's ability to adapt. In fact, the same pattern has repeated for thousands of years.
Every major technological revolution solves one problem and creates a new kind of uncertainty. The societies that prosper are not always the ones with the best machines. They are the ones that build the right institutions around them. Tribes, farms, markets, factories, banks, the internet. Each was more than a tool. Each was humanity's answer to a new economic risk. For hunter-gatherers, the greatest uncertainty was food. Would the hunt succeed? Would the group survive the winter? The answer was the tribe. People shared food, protection, and risk. The tribe was not simply a community. It was one of humanity's earliest institutions for surviving uncertainty.
Agriculture changed the nature of uncertainty. A farmer could work for an entire season and still lose everything to drought, disease, flooding, or war. So societies created storage systems, land rules, taxation, irrigation, and government. Agriculture gave humanity more food, but institutions made agricultural civilization possible. Technology increased production. Society had to learn how to protect it. Agriculture.
Then commerce moved beyond the village. People began trading with strangers they might never meet again. That created a difficult question. How do you trust someone who lives hundreds of miles away? Markets, contracts, commercial law, credit, and insurance emerged as the answer. Trade expanded because trust no longer depended only on personal relationships. Trust became a system. The Industrial Revolution transformed production. Machines could create goods faster and cheaper than ever before. But factories also brought dangerous working conditions, crowded cities, unstable employment, and enormous concentrations of economic power. The invention of the machine was only the beginning. Society also needed corporations, public education, transportation networks, labor protections, and modern infrastructure. The factory changed how people worked. Institutions had to change how people lived. Finance created another transformation. Ownership could now move between people who had never met. Savings could become investment. Companies could raise money from strangers. But mobile capital also created new risks: bank failures, market crashes, fraud, and financial panic. Banks, stock exchanges, central banks, and financial regulation developed to manage those uncertainties. Finance did not remove risk, it organized it. Then the internet made information abundant. Knowledge that once took days to find could be accessed in seconds. But abundance created its own uncertainty. Which information was true? Who controlled the platforms? Who owned the data? And who benefited from the attention of billions of people? The information age solved the problem of access. Then it created the problem of trust at scale. Now the pattern is repeating again, but this time the speed is different. Technology advances through competition, experimentation, and compounding progress. Schools, laws, tax systems, immigration policies, and labor institutions move through negotiation, regulation, and politics. One can change in months, the other may take decades, and that widening gap is where disruption grows. Jobs disappear before workers can retrain. New industries emerge before laws understand them. Wealth concentrates before tax systems know where value is being created. Years before ChatGPT, before the current generative AI boom, before millions of people could create writing, images, voices, software, and video with only a few instructions, the central problem was already becoming clear. Machines were growing more capable, but the institutions around them were not evolving at the same speed. This is why taxation becomes such an important issue. Government needs revenue. So the real question is not simply whether to tax, it is what to tax. A factory may earn a profit while pushing the cost of polluted water onto families downstream. A driver entering an already crowded road may add only one car but impose small delays on thousands of people. Those costs are real. They simply do not appear in the market price. Economists call them externalities. A Pigovian tax tries to make the price tell the truth. It places a cost on activities that impose harm on others. The purpose is not to stop production, it is to reduce harmful spillover. Congestion pricing follows the same logic. Instead of building wider highways forever, cities can charge more during the busiest periods. Some people drive later, some carpool, some take public transportation, some work remotely. Nothing is banned, but behavior changes because the incentives change. There is an important distinction between productive income and economic rent. Productive income comes from creating value, building a company, developing a product, solving a problem. Economic rent comes from controlling something scarce, such as valuable land, a natural resource, or monopoly power. Taxing economic rent may cause less economic damage than heavily taxing productive work. The idea is not to punish success, it is to distinguish creation from extraction. There may be room for somewhat higher marginal tax rates on the very highest earners. The reasoning is simple. At the top, people are often motivated by more than the final dollar they earn. They are also driven by ambition, competition, influence, status, passion, and legacy. That argument can be debated, but it reflects a broader philosophy: tax the economy without suffocating the forces that create growth. The answer to artificial intelligence is not to stop technology, it is to redesign society around it. Better education, faster job matching, more entrepreneurship, stronger research, modern infrastructure, smarter immigration, and taxation designed for the economy that actually exists. These are not unrelated policy ideas. They are the mechanisms through which society adapts. Each economic age has been shaped by a central uncertainty. Food created the tribe. Harvest created agricultural institutions. Trade created markets. Production created factories. Capital created banks and exchanges. Knowledge created the internet. And now, the uncertainty of probability is creating AI systems, prediction platforms, and new forms of decision-making. The technology is new, the historical pattern is not. Some of the most important institutions of the AI age may not exist yet. We may need education that continues throughout a person's life, benefits that follow workers between jobs, new ways to measure digital value, new rules for data, algorithms, and automated decisions, and new systems for sharing the gains of productivity without destroying the incentives that produce them. Previous generations had to invent institutions for their new world. So will we.
History teaches us something uncomfortable. Technology does not automatically create prosperity. It creates possibility. but institutions decide who can reach that possibility, who benefits from it, and who gets left behind. And that may be the greatest danger of the AI age. Not simply that machines will become more intelligent, but that our education systems, economic rules, workplaces, and political institutions will remain trapped in a world that no longer exists, because the future will not be decided only by the intelligence we build into machines. It will be decided by the intelligence, courage, and fairness we build into society. And this story is only beginning. In the next episode, we will explore another powerful idea from history and what it reveals about the world we are rapidly creating. So, subscribe now, not just to watch the future unfold, but to understand it before it arrives. I'm Shauki, and I'll see you in the next episode.